Yanis Kolomenskis, Business Development Manager from Peero. Please welcome.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hope the connection is good because the audio-visual thing is still not really fixed, but this is my passion, so I'll try to speak from my heart. So, as Juris mentioned, one of the big agendas of modern today's employee is the engagement. In fact, he started his speech with that. So I really want to present with somewhat shocking statistic. Did you know that, and here I'm not talking about pre-COVID or post-COVID times, 80% of global workforce is disengaged. So this is a rather shocking statistic, right? So does that mean that we are just, coming to work, clocking in at 9, clocking out at 5? Is that disengagement? So today I really want to address a bit more detailed specifics on why engagement matters, why recognition matters as a means of digital or verbal thank you to your colleague, and to better explain you why am I able to talk to you is I have actually managed significant roles in 4 different global corporations, companies, and each one of these companies had some sort of employee recognition or engagement program. To say it was perfect, well, it would be exaggerating, right? So that's why one of the passions that I share today is working on Peero. And Peero is a technology that I will touch a bit later in the slides. But one of the big cornerstones of Peero is employee recognition. So to understand what is employee recognition and how does that correlate to employee engagement, first of all, I guess let's ask this big question. So what is employee recognition? This is coming from Oxford Dictionary, obviously, right? And well, it's all fun and games until it's actually present on the screen, right? So all these big bold texts in big letters, the acknowledgement expressed as appreciation towards employees' good deeds. So in reality, this scientific fact would work like, hey, buddy, thank you for doing this great job. I really appreciate you as my colleague in my company. Right, so that's employee recognition in a nutshell, in the essence. So one of the things that we are trying to look at in terms of employee recognition is actually why is it significant? Like, I mean, who cares? Do we say thank you to my colleague, or we don't say thank you to my colleague? Actually, it goes back to this psychological organizational behavior pyramid that was created by Professor Maslow back in 1940s, where he focuses significantly on the 2 basic instincts, which is the survival and safety. And here I encourage you to think about not just like we go home and it's safe and we can sleep and eat there, but a bit deeper, that in the essence that the workplace is actually the place where you also fulfill these survival and safety needs because you get the salary for your job, right? So which is one very important area of safety because you feel safe, you can feed yourself. After all, you can afford your home and sleep there, right? So we are filling 2 needs from the very basics in the organizational hierarchy as well. So it's not only personal, while also being organizational. So, but today I really want to address the esteem and love and belonging portion of this, right? So what is esteem? What is love and belonging in the workplace? Like, how do we address that properly, right? How is that possible even? These are my colleagues, right? Again, let's look at it this way. These are the people we usually spend 8, sometimes more hours per day together. These are our colleagues. They might sit next to us. They might sit in the next room to us, but still, we might see them more often than our spouses, than our wives or husbands, right? So that is very important to actually address that, and people really want to feel this sense of belonging. They want to understand, so why am I here? Why am I doing this? And like, what is the benefit beyond the salary? Like, salary is okay, but it was okay 30 and 40 years ago. Like, the world is evolving, right? So we are looking at something more, challenging. And in terms of the recognition, one of the next ideas I would like to address is how do we justify this? Like, okay, Yanis, it's fine, we understand. So saying thank you is good, but how will my business benefit? So again, here the studies have taken from numerous sources. We have taken Deloitte Global Workforce Study. We have taken several performance management studies, pretty much all coming from MIT or lookalike institutes. And the big idea here is that when you say something nice to your colleague, it actually produces a lot of additional morale and motivation to that person. So it helps you engage with that person in the levels that sometimes you never thought is possible. Productivity, obviously, when you say thank you for a particular task, thank you for helping me with a project, will that or will that not help that person work on the next project even better, right? I really believe that yes, it will, because they will understand that not only they did good to actually receive this basic need, which is salary, but they actually did good something for their colleague. And sometimes the colleague is actually the one that needs to be appreciated most. Top performers, disengaged employees, customer satisfaction. I could just go on. And I have to apologize. This short delay of 12 minutes has impacted my speech as well. So with that said, I just want to focus on what I believe is the most important metrics. And here I encourage you in this graph to look at this very important metric of recognition. So if we say thank you to people, how will the percentage change in terms of different business areas? So the areas I just mentioned in the previous slide, how will a simple thank you for something that people do for you be impacted? Appreciation, organizational growth, experience rating, promoter, and engagement. The first one focuses, let's say you have a great workplace. Your management has said that, hey, we want to say thank you to our colleagues when they work 5 years in our company. Awesome, right? So you just have to wait 5 years and you will receive recognition. They will say thank you. They will send you a box of chocolates. You see how drastically changes the percentage when you add additional thank yous. And that's not even, on the second one, that's not even like a daily recognition. That's just like, hey, buddy, you did a great job on the stage today, right? So here you go, 200% morale increase in engagement. I want to do more, I want to be more, and I want to achieve more, right? Extra effort recognition. This is already what we see in great organizations worldwide. So we can see that if you get this thank you for 5 years of service. In addition, if you get this one time a year, thank you for being a great pal and achieving our organizational yearly goals. And in addition, you say thank you on a monthly basis. Hey, this month you're great. I really appreciate you as a colleague, as a mentor, and I really admire your work ethic. And the last one is something that I would say less than 1% in the world of the organizational company side can be proud of, which is all of that which I just said, plus the customer recognition. This is something that we should strive for, right? So when you get the 3 most important metrics, in addition to that, you get a thank you from your customer, well, why would you want to leave that company, right? The practical tips, right? So, okay, yeah, that sounds great. The theory is also, amazing, but what do I do with that, right? So should I just go ahead and hug all the people around me like Michael Scott did in The Office, right? Maybe it worked for him. I mean, I can't tell. Jim seems happy, right? But the biggest takeaway here is that there are 7 touch points on how to actually give effective recognition so that your people will feel appreciated. And I really hope you can take something away for your company or your organization. It doesn't have to be company. If you're a student, if you are a teacher, take it away, say more thank you. You'll see the results immediately. Personal and genuine. So if you want to say thank you, don't say a thank you to our team. You want to say thank you to your colleague, right? Team is always great, but this is a different type of engagement. And usually when you say thank you to a team, nobody really, they like separate this chunk of thank you in pieces, 10%, 10%, 10%. So all took that thank you for them, but if you wanted to congratulate one particular person, right, that would mean 100%, right? So that's why it's always wise to approach a person and say, you know what, I don't think I could do what I do without you, right? So that's, very, very important in the recognition side. Specific. So don't make it like, well, I mean, thank you, right? So that, that's cool. That's awesome. That's, something to begin with, but I wouldn't say that this is the path you want to walk. Why? Because you want people to understand, because the big, this status quo is why. So why are you giving me this recognition? And then you can explain it. Well, I'm giving you the recognition because you are a great leader and I really enjoy learning from you. This is awesome, right? So next one is being frequent. Well, this is exactly what I said. It dates back to that graph I showed you where the percentage of employee morale increases gradually. The more you say thank you, the more you're guaranteed that your organization would potentially prosper. Employees should be thanked at least 1 or 2 times per week, I would say. So 1 or 2 times per week means that, well, you constantly strive to find these places or areas of improvement, and you just push your colleague to actually do something good so you can say that thank you to them. That's how it works in healthy organizations, in healthy companies, right? So that's one very big metric. On that side, it has to be visible. So actually, me and Peero team, we looked funnily at the last year's elections, the governmental elections that were held at about September. So we noticed on Riga-Jurmala highway, there was like 1 Gatis for Jurmala, and there was the second Gatis. So we figured out that it's great, but why are these Gatises there only in this stage, right? So what happens to them after the election is done? And we thought that, hey, our director is also Gatis, so why couldn't he be there? We just want to say thank you to our Gatis, right? So if everybody would engage in that type of level, right, we just make it visible. And this is one practical example. Obviously, you don't have to go that big and do the environmental ads immediately, but the big idea is that people understand and see, and everybody in the organization knows. In this case, we went a bit step ahead, I think. I think not only everybody in our organization knew, but everybody who was going to Jurmala in the middle of summer, which were a lot of people. So it was clearly visible. Company values, like where can we even go? What type of goals do we have if we don't implement company values, if we don't say this thank you, and if we don't send recognition based on the company values? So company values should be the key driving motivator that you base your recognitions to. So I want to thank you based on the fact that our company value is smart, and I really think you were smart to me. That's why here you go, a recognition. Okay, so you see how that changes from a simple thank you, or from a thank you with a small comment. You say that, well, you know what, we are all smart here, but I think what you did in this case scenario, it was like beyond smart. You really took our values to the next level. And one of the final metrics is inclusive. So the idea is that there shouldn't be like, from my practice, I see that there are many organizations that really try to do it, but then the recognition ends up with someone who is very central in their organization. So I'm not sure how many of present here have a secretary that smiles every time they see you, or who has an IT technician who can help you find that reset button on your computer, right? It all deserves a recognition. Like, doesn't matter, it's very small. Sometimes it will happen that these people will get a bit more recognition than the others. So that's really one criteria that we focus really a lot, because there are these like key people in the organization, and there are some people who are, just doing a lot of daily tasks, and they are not seen, they're not recognized, right? So make sure that everybody in your company just approach someone and say, you know what, thank you for what you do. Like, I really admire you in your business area. I think you're a great professional. See how expression on their face will change. First of all, they will ask you, why me? So you have never said anything to me. Exactly, right? So let's start with a thank you. The purpose is a bit different than values. As for the organizational's purpose, purpose changes from time to time. So like each year the purpose changes, and this slide goes back to the demographic slide that I showed, right, which was the percentage type of increase. What happens to people when you actually change this types of recognition and say thank you more often, right? So the purpose is something that you do on yearly basis. You measure your organizational performance. You measure what you can actually achieve on the yearly basis as a company, and then you say thank you based on that, right? So examples would include something like, so this year's goal was 25 new customers for our company. It might be a bit more related to sales, but who doesn't need sales? So, and we say thank you to everybody who participated in helping us achieving those 25 paying customers, right? So that's our way of contributing to these people. I actually wanted to give you some more practical tips on actually, again, why do you need a recognition program? So what is the big benefit there? Saying thank you verbally is very nice, and we really encourage that people do it more often. However, it might not be enough, right? You have the daily priorities. Usually there are like already 10 emails waiting, like 10 meetings that you need to attend, and like who has time for recognition? So that's why it comes very handy that there is a possibility to say thank you systematically, right? Which means through a program, through a technology, or maybe your HR department or people's department can come up with some sort of a program where you, I don't know, write it on whiteboard, right? This is already like 90% better than every other company, at least in our vicinity, in our region. Okay, so the idea is start somewhere if you want to take it to the next level. So one of the ideas is starting with the communication. So you first of all try to explain your people, as I'm trying to explain to you, everybody today, like why and what is the employee recognition program, what business areas will that improve in your company, and why is it even necessary? So what happens to a person when they get thanked a lot? Right? They really change. And this scientific approach and understanding the what and why is really critical. Some of the ideas how to actually implement it is starting by a strategy. So why does our company need it? Do we have a goal around employees being more engaged? Or do we have some sort of a strategy where we want to achieve a fact that 90% of our workforce is involved in company process, right? Which is already, also a huge goal. The flow of work of the recognition helps you like make it, more alive. So let's say you have processes, and I know of an example in Latvia where one fuel station chain has implemented these tablets. So employees and customers can say thank you to each other when leaving and entering the premises. So they can actually, do it on daily basis very frequently. And please don't confuse it with these NPS measurements that you also frequently see, the smiley face, the normal face, and the sad face, right? It doesn't really has anything to do with recognition. Recognition is an actual thank you, okay? So it's a bit different. So Awards is also something that we should consider. Awards come as a part of a package. So if you're implementing recognition program, you want to connect it to something meaningful. You want people to actually do it a lot, frequently. Therefore, you should connect it to some tangible or intangible bonuses. And by that, I mean cinema tickets, 15 minutes with CEO, a breakfast with your manager, right? He pays, obviously. So the leaders in certain engagement and recognition areas get this possibility. They get to actually be there and be present. Yeah, sorry for the formatting, but there are some of the greatest examples I have seen from my experience when working with recognition on daily basis right now in more than 150 companies in Baltics and Nordics. So these are like truly perfect examples how you should say thank you to your colleague. And then look at his face. Again, I encourage you, right? Like you'll see how it changes. Just one example. Your extraordinary attention to detail took this project to another level. You see what they do here? Attention. This was one of the company values. So they focus around attention. So attention is very important. They're an IT company. They want to focus on attention. So you see how they played it out. Yeah, so it'd be a bit short on time. So a couple of last slides. Again, as I mentioned several times this very nice key phrase, Peero. And Peero is a modern employee engagement and recognition technology that integrates into your workplace. Doesn't matter where you work, in Slack, in Teams, in your intranet. So we are able to say thank you from your platform. That's that easy. And we become a sole technology provider. So the idea is that we select some nominal, we select a colleague, then the values part, of course, right? So this prompt, easy, care, and wise. And then you share a message. Person gets it immediately. That's the power of instant feedback, of instant recognition. They immediately get it because they are also working in the same intranet that you are, right? So, yep. That's pretty much it from me today. I really hope I envisioned at least a bit in terms of this very, very important topic. Please, guys, remember, huge percentage of us, 80% are disengaged. So I would say from everybody in the room, however we don't want to admit it, right? This is a global study. It was done in America, in Europe, in Asia simultaneously. And unfortunately, these are the statistics. So be more engaged, find the job that you love, and say thank you to your colleagues for whatever great they do for you and for the company. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Yanis, for the presentation. Before maybe the audience, if you have some questions, please raise a hand. And we'll ask to Yanis. Meanwhile, I have a question to you. Yeah. Since you represent Peero and the recognition is kind of a big deal in your company in general, what is the best recognition you have received or given by your thoughts?
Personally?
Personally, of course, yeah. Personally.
Personally, I wouldn't say I match anywhere close into what I'm seeing actually companies as creative examples I was showing provide. But personally, I think the warmest one was when somebody told me that what I'm doing with Peero really changes companies' lives for the better. And that actually made me, it was very heartwarming.
Nice. It is really nice. A question about Peero in general. You mentioned in your presentation that it is a modern tool, how to easily give recognition when the times get busy. What is the minimum company size to use that platform?
I would say the smaller you are, the better. Basically, you start it. The idea is that the bigger you grow, the harder it is to actually implement a program like this. So the idea is that we focus on the onboarding, which is the very initial stage. We interview it, immediately we say, in our company, it's actually very nice to recognize our people for something great that they do. So I would say it starts from the very beginning. Doesn't really matter, 5, 10, or 500.
All right. If you have any questions, Yanis will be here for a while. right, Yanis?
Yep, absolutely.
So you can catch up with Yanis. But now let's say thank you. Thank you, Yanis.
Thank you.